NVIDIA's RTX 50 series launch certainly hasn't been without its more controversial moments. From price gouging at retail to stock shortages and even missing performance on a small number of cards that shipped to actual customers. And tasked with reviewing the RTX 5070, I was hopeful to find a card that killed it at the mid-range. But things just aren't that simple for the GPU that sits right in the middle of NVIDIA's 50 series stack, and you just shouldn't buy one. At least not yet, let me explain. Now, starting off with the headline numbers, and the RTX 5070 is just 5 to 10% faster than the RTX 4070 Super at 1440p high settings, while 4K delivers a modest 10% performance improvement across the board. The 1440p number is the one that matters though, as while capable at that top-end resolution, most people buying this card are gaming at 1080 or more likely 1440p. Now, this performance jump is in one word disappointing, and I was hoping for more out of this GPU. The RTX 5070 Ti is around 20% faster than the 5070 at 1440p in the games we tested, and significantly more powerful, comparatively speaking, than its small Ti name appendix would suggest. I'll be diving into the full graphs in just a second. Now, that's not to say that makes the RTX 5070 a bad GPU alone. It's very capable across the board, and its modest performance improvement over the RTX 4070 Super might be just that, modest, but that was a card that sold incredibly well and was hugely popular amongst the PC building community. The main reason, for now at least, that you shouldn't buy an RTX 5070 is twofold. The poor performance uplift leaves the door wide open for AMD, and boy have AMD got a door to walk through. Now, following AMD's announcement on Friday that they'd finally decided amongst themselves how much they were going to charge for their new 9070 and 9070 XT GPUs, I've got visions of them just like using ChatGPT and going, how much should we charge for a new graphics card? NVIDIA lies in an interesting position. With the base model 9070, which is set to more closely compete with the 5070, priced at an aggressive $549, and the significantly more powerful XT variant just $50 more at $599. NVIDIA plainly has much more pressure this time around than they did with the launch of their 5080 and 5090, which were totally uncontested. Now, I can't actually tell you the performance of the 9070, XT or non-XT GPUs, and a rather exhaustive NDA prevents me from doing so. But if the rumours online are to be believed, and the 9070 is indeed 20% faster than the 7900 GRE at 1440p, as first reported by video cards, things are looking a little tight for NVIDIA. Now, back to the performance of the RTX 5070, and why I believe in our testing of popular titles like Alan Wake 2, Cyberpunk, Black Ops Zombies, and even Apex Legends, the 5070 is in a highly vulnerable position. In Hogwarts Legacy to begin with at 1440p high, the RTX 5070 does provide a gain over the 4070 Super from last generation, with an additional 8.5 frames per second or so. It also beats out the 7900 GRE from AMD, albeit not by a great deal. At 4K high rasterization, the RTX 5070 gets close to last generation's 4070 Ti Super. A lot of people will have been hoping the 5070 was more powerful than the step-up GPU from the last gen 40 series. In Marvel's Rivals at 1440p high, the 5070 is just disappointing. It falls short in our testing to the 4070 Super and only beats out AMD's 7900 GRE by around about 15%. Step up to 4K and the RTX 5070 is a little more respectable this time, beating out the RTX 4070 Ti Super from last generation, but is a way off the 5070 Ti, which had around about another 11 frames per second. In Alan Wake 2 at 4K high, the 5070 gets frankly nowhere near its last generation 4070 Ti Super counterpart, and again provides a small generational performance gain. Call of Duty's Black Ops 6 Zombies actually sees the 5070 sit below the 4070 Super by 13 frames per second, while moving up to 4K in Black Ops 6 Zombies doesn't particularly improve the picture for the 5070 by a great deal, falling significantly short, 14 FPS lower than the 4070 Ti Super from last generation. Finally, to round things off, and in Apex Legends, the RTX 5070 again fails to beat out the 4070 Ti Super from last time around with 206 FPS at 4K high settings. So you can see here that while the 5070 is not a terrible GPU, it's pretty capable in the latest titles, it just fails to provide a particularly impressive gen-on-gen gain. Now, back to a bit of reality. We don't know whether the RX 9070 lineup is A, going to be competitive from a performance perspective, and again, if we did, I couldn't tell you, and B, whether AMD's launch will face issues around missing ROPs or something else like unstable drivers. Intel Arc, or just plainly something else that sets the launch back. Now, to NVIDIA's defense, the RTX 5070 is priced $50 lower than the RTX 4070 Super, and lines up with the revised pricing of the non-Super 4070 variant, which, if you remember, launched originally at $599 before dropping to $549. That makes the 5070's cost per frame performance actually fairly okay if, and the if is doing a lot of the heavy lifting here, the MSRP is actually achievable at retail. Now that tees me up for the next section of today's video, which I'm aptly calling James' Rants. Now, to be clear, whenever a new graphics card lands, the tendency is for the cards to sell out. Why? Because loads of people are waiting for the next big thing, holding off to upgrade, and as soon as the cards land, they pull the trigger. And as long as AMD, NVIDIA, and even this time around Intel don't get it too far wrong, that is what happens. It's happened with pretty much every single GPU that's landed in the last 3 years that's been decent that I can remember. And things like production ramp up are a very real thing that shouldn't be overlooked. And it's for that reason that I simply don't buy the rhetoric around the RTX 50 series launch being a paper launch. What I do have a problem with is pricing. Pricing on the RTX 50 series thus far has been disgraceful. Strong words, but I really back it. I find it appalling the price gouging that's happened at tier 1 retailers. We're not talking about eBay or dodgy resale websites. They can do what they like, but primary retailers whose sole business is the sale of PC components is just wrong. Now, the retailers will claim that the high prices of the 50 series aren't on them, it's the board partners. And the board partners will claim it's not them, it's the retailers or NVIDIA themselves. As such, it's difficult for me to attribute blame for this pricing on any particular party. But NVIDIA set the pricing at MSRP, and if this MSRP is plainly not seen or visible in the market, then in my view, NVIDIA should be doing something about it. Speaking with retailers and going, look guys, you make a ton of money off our graphics cards, and this really isn't fair on consumers, unless of course the MSRP NVIDIA sets is actually unachievable and lacks margins for the AIBs and retailers involved. Either way, what I can say to you guys is that now is both a terrible time to buy any GPU, and that waiting out to see what AMD do, and to be clear, there's no guarantee whatsoever they're gonna get it right, is what you should do. If the RTX 5070 provided runaway performance and knocked my socks off, I'd tell you to buy it regardless of what AMD have got up their sleeve. But I'm just not confident that I can. At its MSRP, the RTX 5070 is by no means a poor value proposition. Ray tracing, MFG, and even rasterization performance on a cost per frame basis are just fine. I'm not blown away, but it's not a bad GPU at its MSRP. The problem is, I have no confidence that the MSRP really means very much anymore. So yeah, AMD, ball's in your court, don't it up. And that, ladies and gentlemen, are my thoughts on the RTX 5070. Just wait.